First, I want to say that I believe that stories do not exist alone. I don't imagine the story just as a content, but as an ensemble of relations and emotions.
Welcome to the home studio where I make my new episode of Not Art on the IBB radio. I still don't have the real IBB jingles, but I do have this. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. So, this episode, I am featuring Andreas Machairas, who is developing the virtual digital webs and threads and knots of Not Art. More specifically, we are working together on an application and the website to grow this network both on your mobile in a game application and on the website where you can also interact more deeply, more precisely with the whole world. This episode, I'm also featuring the waves of Curacao. You can hear them in the background right now. And these waves you can see on the pictures of my YouTube channel. Every episode now shows this photo of this cave where I was, and the cave is on the side of the Sete Bocas, and it's a very impressive cave. You can get really very close to wild waves deep below, and wet too. Maybe I will make a movie of the videos that I have made so you can see it as well. And this episode as well, I will present the third voice of my song. It's almost finished. I'm not completely happy with the ending and with some parts in the middle as well. But I have sung it and I have put it on top of the two others. For me, it's exciting because suddenly it all gets so much more real, and then I realize better, like, yeah, I don't want this, or yes, this is really what I want. So that's why I put it out as well. And I will tell you a short story as well this episode, because the story was my inspiration to make the third voice. So for now, the talk with Andreas Machairas. For me, you are actually one of the first persons that really boosted the idea of Not Art.
Oh.
Yes, because it was with this project of ours that we suddenly made it very clear what will this. It's not art now. It was also the first time I really used the title Not Art. Not art. Not art. Think about the virtual connecting ways with the application and with the website. I really thought, like, okay, now it's nice to ask you for the first person to give your opinion about why you said yes to let's go with this project.
The connected stories create an environment when where communities, human communities, I mean, can emerge through shared narrative creation. An environment where technology supports the relation instead instead of fragmentation. I understand storytelling as a way of building worlds. So, if you think that we can produce and reproduce several different patterns between humans all over the world, and how they are connected each other, how they are creating or build narrative environments, how they create spaces of meaning, and finally, how they created communities. We want to offer the people tools that can connect through stories, that can build communities through participation, to co-create narratives, to weave digital and physical experience together. Stories that can live in digital, but also in a physical world. Imagine a storytelling that can happen in an online application, but also can be in a space where people are sitting together and maybe talk together, and maybe they can evolve the story and write down the next narration of the same thing. So every person in the web is a knot, and every story is a thread, and every community begins where threads are woven together. That's my opinion.
How do you see it happen in the application that you have created?
Okay. I first I want to say that I believe that stories do not exist alone, but they are born between people. Uh, they travel across voices, places, memories, and media. Uh, so this application is for me a type of media that helps stories to reveal and to grow.
I know the application, so of course I see immediately how you do it in our collaboration. But could you explain a little bit how our application is thought to help construct this community through storytelling on a digital and a physical way?
Okay, let's start with the first application that is produced with creating stories about plants. I'm trying to put a group of people to a physical environment, okay, in a park. And they just take pictures from a certain plant, let's say from a rose. So they can ask the application for information about this plant, and they can save in the application where they found this plant and write a story about this plant. But the same plant may be observed from another group miles away, completely different people from another culture. So they start to write down a new story for the same subject. And the story are starting to talk about traditions and how they are using the plant, the flower, the roses. In the end of the day, we have a lot of different stories that focus in the same physical object. And all these stories reveal what we believe, how we can see the common experience of this plant.
Yeah, totally. And what I like also so much about it is what you say to have then the option that you as an individual you can choose for yourself. I want my story to be public, or I
Oh,
want
yes,
my
of
story
course.
only to be shared within the group I am working. And then you can literally trace how other people of other communities or individuals are like adding some information or starting up also a new knot, as you say, about this plant.
Yeah, and this is not only, it doesn't stay only in special data like Parcol or something, but also is going to collect data during in the time itself. Imagine that a plant can stay here for years. So another group, years later, can visit the same plant. And we can see through a picture how it's growing itself. And we can have also how the environment changes under the actions.
Exactly, that a park maybe suddenly disappears or grows.
Exactly.
Or the plants change. Yeah.
The plants, yes, exactly. To write stories that reveals the social relationships that person feels about what happens in the real life. I mean, it's very important that human life is not isolated. Somehow it is noted. We understand that we don't live next to each other, but we live through each other. I like the idea that it's the same person that decides to take a photo of a plant and write a story of a plant will be the same person which hang out with a friend and start talking about the plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. The same person that put a story in digital application, in digital web, will also express this story maybe better when is in with friends, hang out with friends. And this is very important for me. That it's very interesting for me that right now we can work the digital forms, the digital web, not just for fun or social media influencing blah blah etc., but also to create common storytelling feelings.
Very, very nicely put into words. Thank you, Andreas.
Okay, thank you.
What else would you like to tell the audience about you?
Okay, about me, that I am very happy. I'm a very happy developer that I'm working with inspired artists.
Thank you.
Oh no. This is real. Okay, and also for me, I want to add that and our collaboration that I am strong interest about phygital environments that work together, physical and digital forms.
Nice.
And this is that. This is why that's why I'm very impressed for the project, for Not Art project, because I I'm totally I'm totally convinced that not art is not only visual. It is narrative, it is immersive, and invites people not only to observe but to enter the web and become part of it.
Now I will present you first the duet again of last week, and then the third voice layered on top of it. De maan, Kiran, straalt stil haar helder licht. Een teken van het vallen van de nacht. De hemelkleur, oranje, rood, blauw, paars. Zo groet de zon ons als zij ons verlaat. Een vogel roept de nacht ons tegemoet. Zij houdt veel van de gouden zonnegloed. En ver van hier loopt ook nog een rivier. Die brengt zijn water kabbelend naar de zee. Daar is een andere wereld, vol vissen, schelp, koraal. Als het daar ook donker wordt, brengen zij hun verhaal. Van golven in het lichtspel, zeewieren in het zand. Want als de maan opkomt, vinden zij dat plezant. Slaap zacht, Kiran. De golven springen weer. Hoor jij hun stemmen klinken op en neer, op en neer. Droom zoet, Kiran. Ontspan en rust maar uit. Want soms komen je dromen ook echt uit. Komt een stukje van jouw waarde. De maan, Kiran, straalt stil haar helder licht. Een teken van het vallen schijnt op de maan. De hemelkleur, oranje, rood, blauw, paars. Ontstaat de zon ons als zij ons verlaat. Een vogel roept, de nacht op de tegemoet. Zij houdt veel van de gouden zon en fladdert dat de grond zelfs mee beeft. Kabbeltje per kabbeltje, het water slaat een babbeltje. Er is niets wat hem stoort, een rivier loopt altijd voort. Een bocht, een rots, een steen of zand, hij brengt het water over het land. Hij brengt je naar de overkant of zelfs naar een zeezoutstrand. Daar is een andere wereld, vol vissen, schelp, koraal. Als het daar ook donker wordt, brengen zij hun verhaal. Van golven in het lichtspel, zeewieren in het zand. Want als de maan opkomt, vinden zij dat plezant. Slaap zacht, het licht. De golven waar het in het water glijdt, hoor jij hun stem dat klinken op en neer. Overal doorkomt, droom zoet en voel de stralen. Ontspan en vanuit diepe grotten soms en donkere wateren. Een stukje van jouw waarde. The third voice is actually in my web. It's the fourth voice. I've been talking about the different voices, the 8 different voices of my web. And the first one is the one who stands on the shoreline. The second one is deep, deep, deep below. The third one actually is the rebel child. And she is mixing everything together. But I did not see her now as the third voice, but so I jumped over for the fourth voice, which is the sun. The sun, the beautiful reflecting sunlight on the waves. The sun. Because the sun, she is like the playful child, I call her as well. She is like the best friend who is always like giving you hope, giving you support. She is there to love you. And the sun is so generous as well. And on Curacao, I loved a lot of different beaches on the west side to watch, of course, the sunset. And it's so beautiful to see all those colors on the sky, the colors of the sunlight, the golden sunlight on the darker water, the waves becoming darker and the sunlight so golden and shiny above it, reflecting also the colors of the sky. So I felt like for this song now, for Kiran, because in the end, Kiran, it's a name that in Sanskrit means the beam of light, and in the Gaelic, it means actually little dark one or little darkness. So it's so lovely now also to take this image to sing to my son about the sun, and actually like referring to him and the sun being the same, or like wanting to pass through what the sun is saying to Kiran, and which actually Kiran himself, he is, as he is the light as well. So that's why I wanted to make now the third voice, the Kiran voice, the sun. And the myth of the sun, I've chosen the Japanese myth of Amaterasu. Now, Amaterasu is not a water woman, as all the others are, but her brother is the ocean god, and he is a very wild and brutal and violent god who destroys a lot. And Amaterasu is a very beautiful woman, and her father had put her up in the sky, far away from her brother, who was in the ocean, so she could have her empire in the heavens and not being disturbed by her brother. But as it will, the brother, he comes to visit his sister and he disturbs everything. And first of all, Amaterasu is still like so generous, wanting to speak well about him, and she says, yes, that's my brother, he's like the elephant in the porcelain shop. He is always destroying everything. I know, this is how he is. So she's actually taking part for him still, but he continues destroying because he's so jealous as well on everything that she has, and everything so perfect there, and everything so beautiful and so different than what he has. And so he is really very angry. And then suddenly he destroys also the house, nota bene, the weaving house of her best friend. And her best friend gets killed. Now, this was just a little bit too much for Amaterasu. And she is so deeply devastated, so deeply disappointed in her brother, also in the goodness of everybody, that she decides that she does not want to live anymore. And she withdraws herself in a cave. And she closes it off with a super strong, heavy rock. Nobody can replace it, push it aside. So she is there. The sun is there in the cave. So there is no light anymore outside. And all the other gods, they gather and they try to figure out how can we get her out, and they try to push the rock, but it's not possible. And then there is this one old lady who says, "Fetch me a bucket and a mirror, and I will teach you." Everybody is really like wondering what can this be, what is this about, but they do it. So they take a bucket, they bring the mirror as well, and the lady, she begins to stand on the bucket. She asks also for the others to make a little bit light of fire, because they still had fire, so that they could see her. And she starts to dance a very sensual, a very erotic, actually as well very funny dance. And she's showing her breast, and she's taking off her skirt as well, and everybody is like really amused to see this old lady doing these super crazy moves and showing her body like this. And so they start to laugh, and they can't stop laughing. And Amaterasu, hidden in the cave, is so curious. What is happening there? Because just like some moments ago, they were all crying and trying to get her out, and so, but now she gets so curious to know what's happening there, because she really hears they are really laughing. There must be something really cool outside. So she herself, she moves the rock aside, and as she is the sun shining, she looks into the mirror and she sees the light outside again. And she's even more curious to say, wow, there is also light. And then she sees more, and the people, or the other gods, they see more of the old woman dancing, so they laugh more. And Amaterasu, she comes out to enjoy the party. And the other gods, they try to fix the rock again, so she cannot get inside again. But it doesn't matter, because Amaterasu, she had realized already, this is here where I want to be. This is what I need. And people or gods around me having a good time, bringing light, laughing, looking at yourself as well. So she sees how the beauty also of the light instead of in the darkness, and the beauty of the other gods, of this old woman as well, like trying so much her best to find a solution. And from that moment onward, she is back again with all the people. And yes, that's the story of Amaterasu in my version, of course. And in my web, I have chosen the banana leaves for the sun, because I had a banana rope, and it's so golden, nicely sun. And of course, the bananas need a lot of sun. And on Curacao as well, I met a very, very beautiful project with beautiful people as well. It's called Farm to Crafts, where they are farming in an organic way banana trees, and they are looking how they can use the fibers to produce objects, design objects as well, to sell, so they can have an own system of producing and selling, and also being able to sustain themselves and the workers there on a very local basis. And I hope one of these episodes as well that I can get more details or get deeper into this beautiful project as well. But for now, that's it. I think the time is up again. And I wish you all a very, very nice month. And we hear us next time again. Bye.